Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to your first theory week. This week, we're going to be talking about bass clef. What we've already talked about before and what we know pretty well is our treble clef, right? So treble clef is what we usually read in our music every day. It looks like that. We also know it as the G clef because that's a little swoop on the bottom circles around the G line. And so that kind of gives us an anchor of where to go for the rest of the notes. Your bass clef, on the other hand, if you are a tenor or going to be a bass in the future, you will be reading bass clef. So, and if you've played trombone. So with the bass clef, it loops around like a little hook, and then it's got these two dots here. Bass clef is also known as F clef. But why? Because these two dots are surrounding the F line. So when you have a note on that line, this note right there is F, okay? So we have an acronym to remember our notes in treble clef. Every good boy does fine, or every good boy deserves fudge. And that is going in order of our line notes. So how do we remember the line notes in bass clef? For bass clef, I like to remember it as good boys deserve fudge always. Hope you can see that. Good boys deserve fudge always. So good boys deserve fudge always. You have a map of this and a picture of it already in your lesson 5 in the files for this week's theory unit. So all of this is described on the top of the page in lesson 5. The bottom of that page is where you're going to practice naming those notes. So that's one of your assignments for this week. I want you to practice that. The second part of your assignment is going to be on page 6. Page 6 is going to cover the space notes of bass clef. How do we remember the space notes in bass clef? Well, for bass clef, the space notes, it's, I want to say, just as easy as treble clef. So treble clef, we remember the space notes because face, right? Right in the spaces, face. For bass clef, all cows eat grass. Pretty simple, right? So all cows eat grass, and like every acronym, it is the first letter of every word. All cows eat grass. Starting from the bottom, going up. That is the very important piece to remember about these acronyms, is where it starts. It always starts on the bottom and goes up like a ladder. So for the line notes, it starts on the bottom. Good boys deserve fudge always. Space notes start on the bottom. All cows eat grass. And remember, it starts on the bottom, not below, but the bottom space, okay? Stay within those staff lines and you should be good to go. So part 1 of your assignment for this week is going to be Brimmel's lessons 5 and 6, okay? You're going to print out those files if you have a printer and do your homework in pencil, and then make sure you scan it into OneNote. If you do not have a printer, remember I showed you how to use the draw feature on our last meeting. If you need to go back and review that meeting, then go ahead and do that. You just go to the general tab of our channel and click on the thumbnail that will send you to that meeting. And then you can review any part of it that you need as many times as you need, okay? The second part of your assignment, and I will be sending you a link for this, is you are going to play Staff Wars. It's an online game where you practice note naming, and you're going to need to do it on the bass clef setting. At the end of that, you're going to need to screenshot your score and send that to me. So you're going to, I will don't send it. Screenshot and put it in the comments section of our base clef theory unit for this week, and we'll see who gets the high score.